Do you both just hate each other?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm actually a vegan.
You're so pale. Who didn't know that? Nice guy. He was a hamburger.
You sound like my dad now. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be calling you a some bitch.
Hippies.
They make good fertilizer.
That's bullshit, Ben.
I do disagree with that. Bush.
Every day people say the earth is in danger, the environment is in peril. You may even think there's no hope left for humanity. It's easy to dwell in despair, but I decided to do something about it. I've gathered a team of experts who can help solve once and for all each and every one of these issues here today at the fire pit. Well, I'm glad you guys had a chance to talk to each other and you weren't at each other's throats yet.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Xochitl Torres Small, a big government liberal politician, former U.S. Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, and Mr. Will Harris, a small government, conservative cowboy, fourth generation Georgia farmer. They are no doubt formidable enemies, but they're gonna have to put their differences aside here today to help fix the planet. Did I introduce you both correctly, or would you like to introduce yourselves a little better?
You did beautiful.
I mean, you said my name right, so I appreciate that.
I was worried about Will's name, but
Yeah.
that's good. Okay.
Second
Well, how
L
would
is
you?
silent. It's silent.
Okay, yeah, the L is silent. Okay, so how would you like to introduce yourself, Xochitl?
I'm Xochitl Torres Small, and I am from New Mexico. I think that's the most important thing. But I do believe that government has a role in the work that we do. Just know that it can't be the only answer.
Love it. That's great.
I'm Will Harris. I own a farm in Georgia called White Oak Pastures. It's been in my farm for 5 generations, 6 now. It was a complete tiny little food chain. My dad and I evolved it to a space in the beef production model, and we've enjoyed a lot of success with that.
Well, I feel like I have to address the elephant in the room. You know, you formerly worked for the USDA. You, sir, are a farmer. How could you possibly have anything in common? Do you both just hate each other?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, the ironic thing is the USDA, Department of Agriculture, established by Abraham Lincoln, was formed with a goal to support farmers. And yet, I've certainly seen that it doesn't always do that, and talked to plenty of angry farmers and ranchers who didn't feel like it was serving them in the best possible way.
In my opinion, there's been so much lobbyist influence involved in USDA that it has moved from representing the farmer to representing special interest.
One of the things I loved about working at USDA was that the issue is food, and so everybody has a stake in it because we all eat, no matter how different we are. But that also creates some challenges, right? Because everybody cares about the issue, everybody has a stake in the game. And so I think you do. You have lots of lobbyists who show up and say, this is how you should do food, or you shouldn't pay attention to those farmers doing that crazy regenerative stuff. And figuring out how to serve that entire system is certainly a challenge.
This segment is called Word Hunting. I will shoot a word or a phrase at both of you, and I want you both to reply with the first thing that comes to your head. It can be a word, it can be one sentence, but something short. Just the first thing that comes to your head. You
Ladies
good?
first.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Such a gentleman.
I'll give you an easy one. Lobbyists.
Big.
Special interest.
Synthetic meat.
Bullshit.
Science.
Okay. Mainstream media.
Lie.
Superficial.
Fox News.
Lie.
Wrong.
Kevin Costner.
Old.
Wow.
Nothing.
Okay. You don't like Yellowstone?
I couldn't watch much of it.
Because you're like trying to correct how they're doing things, and it's
Yeah, that's not the way that works.
well, they should bring you on as a specialist, honestly. You were telling, earlier when I mentioned synthetic meat, it seemed like it brought a pretty big reaction out of you. Do you have fears about synthetic meat?
I don't have any fears. That's one of the few times that I got it right. When they start talking about synthetic meat, I said, that shit ain't gonna work. Again, back on what I said, if there's somebody hungry somewhere and there's nothing for them to eat but an Impossible Burger, shit, cook it for them. But That is so against nature, so against those cycles of nature that I talked about, that I didn't consider it to be a real competitor.
For me, it's never going to replace a burger, right? And yet, it's not my place to say someone else shouldn't eat it. I don't think it's meat, but I think science has a role too.
I'm actually a vegan. I've been a vegan for a few years.
I mean, you're so pale. Who didn't know that? Nice guy. You need a hamburger.
You sound like my dad now. Okay.
You say it like it's a confession.
It feels like it is like a confession, at least talking to this great man right here, because I respect what you do so much, and I feel like I'm not the type of person who's saying we need to stop eating meat or force people to stop eating meat. I think that it's beneficial for people to eat less meat and consume it less.
I do disagree with that, but I absolutely have no problem with anyone who chooses to be a vegan or vegetarian. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So I think we need to respect each other's decisions, and I think these raging vegetarians and vegans that want to tell people what they can't eat meat, they need to get some respect too.
In Congress, I ran a few commercials where I was hunting. And man, I did not hear more from people than after seeing those commercials. Because folks would come out and just say, what are you doing? If you want turkey, get it from the store. And of course the question is, where do you think that turkey came from? I guarantee you, the bird I shot was a lot happier than the bird that was in the freezer. And so I think there is an ethos to the food that we eat, and the intentionality that we have about what we choose to eat. But for me, it's like learning the why behind, why are you a vegan, for example?
Just for fun. Yeah. No. Well, you're welcome over to my house anytime to eat a tofurkey.
You mind if I stop and get a sack of hot dogs or something on the way?
Yeah, you can do that.
So you don't need all this.
Work on mine, Evie.
Oh, that's going to take me too long. I don't know if we have that kind of time.
What does the USDA even do?
I think of the USDA as a regulatory branch primarily. They do a lot of funding. They have a number of different roles, but I think of them primarily as regulatory.
Are there things that the government could do specifically to help out farmers like you who are doing it the sustainable way?
Not as long as the lobbyists are as powerful as they are. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, and that's where I might disagree with you a little. I might push back and say,
You're young.
sorry, sir. But I think that, and I'll take that as a compliment. I don't know how young I am anymore. But I have seen the difference that USDA investments have made, whether it's for a multi-generational farmer who was able to keep the land because USDA Rural Development helped him build a greenhouse and put solar up to run the greenhouse. So that way he was able to produce more and be able to still produce and also have a responsible energy production and keep the land in operation. I think the thing that matters there is that the government has to be a reliable partner, and it's not always a reliable partner. At Quivira Coalition, we had a $3.4 million grant rescinded, and that does a lot to an organization.
How does that get rescinded?
Well, when you use the word climate change, it becomes political.
That's what's crazy to me, is that it feels like so much of this is about language and semantics rather than everyone wants to do things sustainably and eat better and have all these things, but the second you mention a word like climate change or the second you mention something like clean energy, it's hard to bridge the gap.
And everybody doesn't want to. You got big food, big tech.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like normal
consumers.
Yeah, consumers.
And I do not disagree with what you said, but look at the most heavily subsidized crops, and I'll get you to help me name them. But cotton, corn, soybeans, surprisingly peanuts, rice. And wheat. Those are the most heavily subsidized crops by a lot. I mean, that's trillions of dollars. Which one of those is good for you? Those are all the basic elements of a fast food diet,
right.
of stuff that's sold in the middle aisles. I'm certainly not saying USDA is without any good programs or without any good people, of course not. But the net effect is greatly weighed against and on the commodity, industrial, big food.
Right. All right, well, this segment is called Guess the Guest. I will read real quotes that either of you have said, and you have to guess which of you said it.
Oh.
Rural can look different in different places, and there's different challenges that come with that. That is Xochitl. Okay, that was easy. That was easy.
It was too eloquent to accomplish.
I know this is a story whose time has come, and I'm the only sumbitch who can tell it.
I don't mean to be calling you a some bitch.
I think you do.
That was Xochitl. I'm kidding. That was
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
That was me.
If you're going through hell, keep going.
I might have said that.
You're gonna say you? Okay. Pretty humble. That was Winston Churchill.
There we go. Oh.
I didn't know there was a third party. Winston's not even here.
Is Earth going to be okay after all that we've done to it?
Yes, I
You
think
know-
it will.
I'm impressed with all that you've seen, that you stay optimistic. I do too, but it's a daily practice. I think it's really easy to be nervous about things like climate change, about the drought that's lasted for most of my life in New Mexico, and the mega drought we're in now, and the impact that that has. And I think, to your point about how conventional agriculture really simplifies things by killing it all off so they can grow one thing. What gives me hope are young farmers and ranchers that we get to work with at Quivira who say, actually, I'm gonna try to figure out this system and figure out where I exist in it. And I think that's a ag ethos, but it's also a life ethos. I don't think I have all the answers, and I wanna look at the system that we're part of and what's my role in it. And I think the more that we can do that, the more the earth and all of us will be okay.
Right. I mean, I do think it's important to stay somewhat positive because, I see my generation, they say every day, like, it's over, it's done, everything's dying, there's no hope left for humanity. And, if you're starting with that, you're not going to be motivated to do anything or, try to change the political spectrum. So I do think that having some, a little bit of hope is important.
I'm convinced that the problem is us humans.
Yeah.
The beasts of this forest here, from one generation to the next, they don't become more technologically advanced, but we humans do. And it has made us so powerful that we can really impact things. We can really change things. Lions and tigers and bears won't ever get so powerful that they can change.
God, I hope not.
But we have gotten and continue to become increasingly powerful, and we do damage.
Yeah.
And we do incredible damage. And I think that we'll probably put ourselves out of business some way or the other, sometime, at some way. And I think it's probably, I don't look forward to it, but I think it probably is what's going to happen.
Do you usually burn it pretty?
Oh, I'm a slow roaster.
Okay.
I'm not a big marshmallow guy.
Oh, really? Well, you don't have to have
No,
it if
it's
you don't
fine.
want to.
It's fine.
Where's yours?
Oh, I'm vegan. No, they don't let me do it. It's not in the budget. Yeah. This segment is called America the Beautiful. You will have 240 seconds to brainstorm a real-life, practical solution to show off America's beauty. I'm gonna leave you to it. Have fun.
All right. Should we visit your farm?
My farm is sitting among farms that don't practice the
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Maybe we can eat some of your produce and some of your chicken. Go swimming in your creek.
And take your shoes off and walk barefooted on the land.
There we go. Sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing.
You tell him.
I can't talk about your farm the way you do.
Oh, no.
Who are we inviting? Who are we bringing?
This guy.
All right, folks, your time is up. Let's hear it. Who wants to present?
So we're gonna take you on a trip.
Me?
You on a trip?
I get to go?
I'm inviting him to your farm. I hope
Yeah,
that's
that's
okay.
We'll have a hamburger.
I'm honored.
You're gonna walk along the fence line,
Okay.
and you're gonna see the difference between Mr. Harris's farm and the neighbors, and the impact of those regenerative practices and the land stewardship that Mr. Harris has accepted. You're gonna walk down towards the creek, where you'll hear the creek burbling, and some birds and wildlife all over. And then Mr. Harris is gonna treat you to a meal, and you're gonna tell about the meal.
Okay.
And we'll have beef, pork,
Will I?
lamb, and poultry.
Okay, in that order?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like that you both worked on this solution together, and I like that you're inviting me to your farm. I'm honored, and well, you invited me to his farm. I'm honored about that, and unfortunately, it's wrong.
Aww.
So this isn't going to work. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to force everyone to move to Montana. Right? They got a lot of nice, beautiful nature, lots of open space. Everyone just moves into Montana, right?
Please no.
All right, whatever. All right, pitheads, you tell us in the comment section. They make me do this. You tell us in the comment section, pitheads, pitties, fireheads, fire people. You tell us who has the better solution. I think it's me, personally.
I bet they'll come up with a better solution than any of us.
Have you been in the YouTube comment section? This segment that we're going to do right now, it is called Helping or Hurting. I'll present a word or a phrase to you, and you have to reply with one of two words, helping or hurting the environment. Industrialized food production.
Hurts the environment.
Hurting.
The USDA.
Some of both.
Some of both.
Oh, all right. Cows.
Industrial cattle hurt the environment. Non-industrial cattle benefit the environment. No doubt.
As a reformed lawyer, it depends.
Hippies.
Probably help the environment. They make good fertilizer.
I would say negligible. Like we're not, yeah.
Okay.
We got work to do.
Get to work, hippies.
Can I revise my opinion on industrialized agriculture?
You absolutely can. Please.
You said industrialized agriculture, say mostly hurt, but there's always promise. I think finding ways for anyone to make their practices a little better is something that gives me hope. I don't know that industrialized agriculture will ever be as helpful as other types of agriculture. I have trouble seeing it, but I think acknowledging opportunities to get a little better is also good.
Yeah, we're a part on that. I think it's one of the most damaging things we have.
I hear you.
The organic matter in the soil on my farm was 0.5% when I started changing things. Now it's 5.5%, 10x. You know, 1% organic matter will absorb an inch of rain. So I can get a 5.5 inch rain on my farm, not if it comes from a flood, and nothing runs off. You know, when it was 0.5%, anything over a 1/2 inch of rain ran off. And when it runs off, it does damage. At that time, it was taking chemical fertilizer and pesticide.
I mean, I think if it's a choice between the two, you want the practices that are more regenerative. And we've got to figure out how to feed everybody. And we don't have to condemn all practices instead of just trying to make everything a little better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm leaning too hard this way because there's so many powerful forces leaning so hard that way.
Yeah.
And I love that the liberal is the one who's saying, actually, let's talk about industrialized agriculture.
I know. I had stereotypes of both of you, but you're just destroying all of my interpretations. It's almost like you're three-dimensional complex people, and I'm just a stupid talk show host. You each have parting words before we end this.
You know, you asked about whether I'm optimistic about the world and the state of our planet, and I'm not always, but right now, getting to see the work that you've done and the way that you pass it on or passing it on to your daughters, it makes me a whole lot more optimistic about our world.
I too am less optimistic than I want to be. It is rewarding when I come to events like this and meet people that really smart people who wield influence, that get it. And we may be a part on a little thing here and there. That's okay. That's okay. Things like this and some things that have happened recently, publicly, politically, societally, cause me to have a little bit more optimism about being an early innovator as opposed to just a niche marketer.
Well, thank you for telling us that. I really, I feel more optimistic actually after talking to both of you. You know, I really appreciate the work you both are doing. Thank you, you know, in the public and the private sector. So I feel like I learned a lot today. Thank you both. Would you care to take a Christmas card with me?
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, I think if you'll eat a pork chop for supper, you'll feel better and probably things will be more clear to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's try this. Christmas card? Okay, let's do this.
Family Christmas card.
Family Christmas, yeah, well, you know, I need to send something out so people think I'm not so alone.
Perfect fit round the fire pit, you know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, or else the planet won't be saved. Ooh. No, I'm not gonna promise that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, ooh, or else the algorithm will get ya.